Hey, sorry, my camera dipped. Hello, it's Nefertiti, and welcome to the Wonders of We. I'm in my bathroom. I'm enjoying talking to you guys, standing up with really nice lighting. I changed my bulbs a while back. I did like some winter treatment to my apartment. Typically, I would put like plastic on the windows to keep the cold out, but because I have new windows, I don't have to do that anymore. But I have to do certain things to kind of cheer up myself because when it gets dark and negative 17 degrees, I get very glum. So I have some really bright lights in my bathroom, which normally I have low lights because I don't like it super bright, especially in the morning when you're waking up. It hurts my eyes. Like I said, hello, welcome to the Wonders of We. I'm pumping out a couple videos and I'm okay with that. And a part of me is just a little bit excited to just do them all now, like just upload them all tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, at this point of my YouTube journey, I get like 2 views in a month. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm grateful. That blesses me because it's nice that someone sees what I'm doing. But it's nice for me. You know what? I wish I could answer that in a way that was like more, I don't even know how to explain that. It's nice to have people see what you do, especially when you put work into it. And yeah. And as I said in the last video, this is a creative outlet for me. And so it's just really nice to see that, one, I have this option and this alternative of how I can express myself creatively, but also two, it's neat that someone else gets to watch it. And I may not ever meet them in person, but yeah. So side note on that. Anyway, the reason why I'm on here is because I want to know, the last video I asked how you're doing, so I'm not going to ask that, but I want to know, my wonder is, because this is the Wonders of We. My wonder is, what is exhausting you right now at this time? And it's fine if you want to say the coronavirus, because that could really be it. Or it can be all the Zoom meetings, or it can be literally living and working in your home for the past 10 months. But I want to know what's exhausting you. You know, so I'll share with you what's been exhausting me. For a period of time, it was my weight gain. I gained 50 pounds, not 0.5 pounds, 50 pounds. I gained 50 pounds. Now, I'm not going to blame it all on COVID. I feel like I was on this upswing for a while now. But at the end of the day, 50 pounds is a lot for me, or for anyone, but I'm speaking on my behalf. So it's been exhausting to be 50 pounds heavier. And that was something that was exhausting for me. Right now, currently, the thing that is the most exhausting for me is work. And I have to be honest with you, it hasn't been super strenuous. It hasn't been like a lot of clients. I work in substance abuse or substance misuse. That's what I do. I'm an intake counselor. And so there haven't been a lot of intakes lately, but it's still exhausting. Like, work is still exhausting. And let me tell you what I think is the most exhausting thing for me regarding work. I am the only one who's in the intake department. Now, there are other people who do intakes, but I'm the only one who does like 4 in a day. And so that's exhausting in itself. And the intakes are about probably an hour long, and then you have the paperwork and the notes, the assigning them to the counselor, adding them to the roster, that stuff, sending emails, insurance, blah, blah, blah. So you have an hour of talking to this person, and then you have like another hour and change of finalizing everything so the person's in group. That's exhausting. But the part that's exhausting is my loneliness in doing that. There's no one else who does intakes only, who does it solely. The other people, they do counseling as well, like they do groups as well. And so for a period of time, I felt like the people that I was letting into the program based on standards, structures, all that stuff, and the allowance of, I'm sharing a lot right now. This is kind of nervous. Oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous, just to be candid. Basically, I felt like the clients that I let in were causing headaches for the counselors, and I felt that made me feel like a failure. So this is the part that I'm talking about. The exhaustion was feeling like a failure. I felt like a failure. Every time we had meetings and I had to look at these people in their little squares on my computer screen, I did not want to make eye contact, even though you technically can't because there's a camera there and their eyes are somewhere else. But I never wanted to look directly at the screen because I was just like, they're going to see into my soul that I'm failing. That was exhausting. I still kind of have it from time to time. And I think that's what, even though, like I said, there hasn't been a lot of intakes lately, I think that's the weight of what's causing me to be exhausted because it's still in the back of my mind that I am failing. So that's what's been exhausting me. So I want to hear from you. What's exhausting you? It can be anything. And I would love for you guys to share it. Now on the flip side, because we're not going to leave it there. And I'm aware of the fact that I'm not a failure. I'm aware of that. I don't have any significant things to say to follow up as to why I'm not a failure, but I'm not a failure because Christ says that I'm not, and I'm just going to stick there. And I don't feel like dissecting it right now. I just wanted to share that's what's been exhausting me. Okay, so now on the upswing, because of how I feel regarding work, I have been thinking and looking into, or not looking into, but thinking, would this be a good time to change my career? I have been in the social services field for a long time, nonprofit, domestic violence, sexual assault, all that stuff, people, services. I've been in that field for 12 years now. So I'm still young enough to, because think about it, you're going to do like 30 years in a career, right? So I'm still young enough to do a 20, I mean, people do more than 30 years, but typically, right? You're going to retire at 60. Oh my God, I have 30 more years in the work field. Oh, look at my double chin. It is not happy either. Oh no. Anyway, so I've been thinking, what if I were to change the industry that I work in? So that's been something that's kind of exciting to kind of titillate over, you know? And I don't know what I would do. I don't know. I have no clue. But it's just something that ran through my mind. And I kind of am interested in entertaining that thought. Now, will I? I don't think so, honestly. I love working with people, even though I know there are different capacities in how to do that. I love serving people too, like hospitality, things like that. But that's just something that's been on my mind is I'm still young enough to change my career. And let me say this, y'all don't know my age, and you probably could do the math from the last video I did or the first video I did where I did disclose my age. And there's no need to. I didn't mean to make it a thing. My whole point of saying age is it doesn't matter what your age is. There is still time to do. And in this day and age, like I have my full 9-to-5 job, but I'm also able to do this, which could, in a way, potentially, you never know what the future holds, can become a career for me. I write too. That's something I love to do. I write short stories, poems, things like that. No, it's not a career. No, I'm not making income from it, but it's something that I do. And I can shift things where I'm kind of going off a little bit and I shouldn't. But I can shift things where my 9-to-5 isn't necessarily my 9-to-5, where I can focus more so on my writing, and then that could become a career. So it's just been very blessing to my heart to think I have options. I have options. And even if I were to stay in the social services field, I can always change it. I don't always have to work in addiction, substance use. I can go into something else, and that might make a difference. But like I said, we're going on an upswing, right? So I told you the things that's exhausting me, and I do want to hear from you what's exhausting you, and you are more than welcome to leave it in the comments or leave it wherever you want to. Write it down, share it with a friend, share it with yourself because you're a friend to yourself. I hope you are. The upswing is, what have I been doing to not be so exhausted? Well, I'll tell you. I sing to myself. But I sing. And also there's an app I use, and some of you guys know about it. There are some like karaoke apps, and I have a blast on those things. And so that's one outlet that I have, and I love it. I write, like I said, but sometimes I like to write just to write. Like I don't want to pursue it into a book one day. It's just, I'm so sorry. I'm burping, like a hiccup burp, but it's done. I write, and I don't write necessarily for it to get published later on. It's just little stories. Like I wrote a story, this is a little personal, but it was just interesting because for whatever reason, my mind was there. But I wrote about the sperm and the egg and their meeting. So it wasn't super sexual in any way. It was just literally like the bones of it, like the science of it. And that was really fun to write about because it was fun. And there doesn't have to be a reason why. It was just super fun. So like that kind of writing, not necessarily about reproduction, but like stories that have nothing to do with anything that nobody thinks about and I'll never be there. You know what I'm saying? Like I might write a story about earwax and what it's like to develop. And then when you're pulled out, what is that story for that earwax ball? You know what I mean? So I like to write silly, funny, goofy stories. And it doesn't have, I'm not going to try and get it published one day. It's just little notes that I write and I look back on it and I laugh and I'm like, Neff, God has blessed you. And I believe that you writing these silly little things blesses his heart too. And he gets a nice little laugh. So those are the things, the singing, the writing silly stories, those are things that help to not be so exhausting or to alleviate the pressure of the exhaust. So I want to hear from you. What's exhausting you right now? And what are you doing or what are you planning to do that's going to help to alleviate the exhaustion? I really would like to hear and please. And if you, or, one thing I didn't think about, you can say it on the comments. You can write it in a book, like in your journal. But if you have a YouTube channel and you want to respond to this question or any other questions that I've asked, please link it in the comments and then I can watch what are you going to do. So I really appreciate you guys so much. I thank you so much for watching and listening and just taking the 11 minutes and 40 something seconds. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And I thank you. So have a good night, a good morning, a good evening, a good whatever it is, wherever you are, let it be good. Bye.